Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make a vase out of a glass jar. Now, this kills two birds with one stone in my book. You make something beautiful and you're recycling and helping the environment. This can be a project for kids or adults just looking to add a little bit of interest in their decorating, or just a fun project for kids to show them that recycling can make something beautiful. So this jar, as you can see, was a salsa jar. And you can use any glass jar that you'd like. I personally prefer the salsa jars or something with a little curve to it, make it look a little bit more elegant. Then you can put either real flowers, fake flowers. They make a great gift for Christmas time, fall, birthdays. You can just let your imagination run wild with this. Okay, and there's a couple different ways you can go about it. It depends on the look that you're trying to achieve. So I'm bringing in a couple of other glass jars that I've done. And as you can see, these I did not paint ahead of time. I just went for the clear look. And here you can see the same. So it really depends on the look that you're going for. You could either do the painted vase look, it adds a little bit more color, or if you want to see what's in your jar, but you still want to decorate it, you could do it in this fashion. So the first thing that I do is I get my glass jar and pick a color. Today I'm going to use toasted marshmallow. You can use any color you like for a base color. Doesn't matter. It's all user's choice. So as you can see, I'm using a Tupperware lid for the paint. I'm going to pour it on here. Going to paint my glass jar. And I just use a regular acrylic paint that you can get from Walmart. The Apple Barrel works great. If you have another brand of acrylic paint, that should work just fine also. So then I dump out a lot because sometimes you're going to need more than one coat on your glass. It just depends on the look that you're going for. Sometimes you can see the streaks. It depends on the brush that you use. I'm using a little fan brush here, so I'm going to get some streaks in the glass because you don't want to put it on too thick or too thin. It's really your preference on how you want it to look. I'm going to put 2 coats on this. So I'm going to apply my first coat and let it dry. Okay, as you can see, I've applied my first coat. It's not perfect. It's streaky. It's okay. No big deal. We're going to let that dry, and then we'll apply a second coat. While we're letting that dry, I'm going to show you the other supplies that we need. Okay, so what I've done is I went to the dollar store and I've got 2 pans. They're just the regular baking pans. And I only did 2 for just reinforcement. You can use 1. You can use actually any Tupperware container, anything that's large enough that you're going to fill it with water. You don't have to fill it all the way, just deep enough to where you're going to take your glass bottle and you're going to be able to set it in the water and roll it to apply the paint, which I will show you today. What we are going to use is, it's actually nail polish. You can use whatever colors you like. If you remember, I'm using the toasted marshmallow. I'm going for kind of a fall look. So I'm using kind of a light brown. And then a darker brown that's got a little bit more color to it, some shimmer to it. The light has some sparkle, which is great. It's going to make a really nice effect on the jar. So you're also going to need some toothpicks. They can be the wooden ones. They can be plastic. I just happen to have the plastic ones. Doesn't matter. You're going to need a few of these. Some paper towels, one for your hands, one to set the jar on when you've completed it, and another one just because it's going to be a little bit messy. Okay, so while we're waiting for that jar to dry, what I'm going to do is cold water. I have learned that cold water is the trick here. It doesn't have to be ice cold, but you do not want it warm because it makes your polish coagulate faster and makes it much harder to work with. So cold water is the trick. Okay, so once your jar is dry and you've added a second coat, which I did here, you can still see some streaks. But like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're actually going to cover those up. All right, so what you're going to do is take your nail polish, the colors that you've chosen. Okay, so the first thing I do is open my nail polish. Excuse me. Okay, so then I'm just going to drizzle the nail polish around the water. No particular design, just get it in the water. Now I do my second color, and no particular design on that. And this bottle's a little bit low, so I'm hoping there's enough. And you just put as much or as little of each color as you'd like. Then you're going to take a toothpick, take one of the ends, and just gently go through the water and the colors and make some little designs. Now, you're going to see coagulation of the polish on the toothpick. That's okay. No big deal on that. What it looks like at this point is swirl of colors. So, now I'm going to take my jar that I've painted and holding the ends, we're going to dip it down and twirl, okay? And that's one of the reasons that I chose this large baking pan is because depending on the size of your jar, you can either go this way or you can turn it and go this way. And it just depends on, like I said, the size of your jar. So I'm in the water, I'm dipping it down, I'm not touching the bottom, I'm rolling with my fingers the whole way around the bottle. Okay, sometimes you'll get a little water in there and that's okay. Okay, so now you can see the design of the polish has transferred onto the jar, the glass jar. And those streaks from the paint that you saw earlier, you can't even tell. They're gone. And it's beautiful. So now I'm going to let that sit and dry. And then I will put some flowers or either real flowers, fake flowers. You can do so many things with this as a gift. You can put paintbrushes in there, whatever your heart desires. But you're recycling and you're making a nice gift or item to sell. And one final note, your leftover water and polish, I do not dump this down my sink. I take it outside and water the plants with it. just because I'm not real sure what it's going to do to my pipes. You can take a toothpick and you'll get all the excess nail polish. Looks like that. Ooh, yummy. I change out my water between each color set. So if I have another jar that I'm doing with different colors, not the browns, say I'm doing reds or blues, I will completely dump this out, get all the brown out of there, and then refill it with fresh cold water. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day.